Welcome to another episode of The Cheating Cook. Today we're going to cook something fairly easy, fried rice. With fried rice, what's nice about it, you can use your whatever leftovers you have for your meat. But beforehand, let's go talk over some of the ingredients. So if you pan over, the first thing we have is white rice. This is obviously already cooked. This is jasmine white rice. The thing is, when you cook this, you want to make sure that it's not that sticky, so you don't want to put too much water when you make it. If anything, you can put a little bit less water than what you're used to. Also, if you cook the rice the day before, it's actually better because the rice doesn't stick together. Because right when it comes out of the rice cooker, it's still sticky. When you cook fried rice, you want the grains to separate because you're going to be frying each grain, hopefully, in the wok. Next thing you have is you can use butter, but if you're a little more health conscious, you can use oil. This is canola oil. Canola oil is a blend of, I believe, olive oil and corn oil. You want to use a liberal amount of oil in your pan because if you don't, then your contents will burn. The next thing is the major thing you flavor. You want to make sure that to have the flavor, you use some type of salt-based sauce. So since I'm Vietnamese and I drink just like water, we're going to be using fish sauce. You would think fish sauce, if you've never cooked with it before, it's actually nothing that different than using soy sauce. If you look at the history of it, it sounds sort of scary. I'm not going to describe what it actually is. But if you actually eat a recipe with fish sauce, it's not fishy. That's sort of the weird thing about it. The next thing is we chopped up some onions, regular chopped up onions, diced up some garlic. We beat 2 eggs and bought frozen peas and carrots, and I put these in the microwave with a little bit of water and then drained it. The last thing, and probably the easiest, is your meat. Right here I happen to have some leftover short rib, but this can be any leftover you have. So for instance, let's say you went to KFC and you have some extra meat, or you have extra compound chicken, or you have extra shrimp, or anything. What's nice about fried rice is it's basically your leftover meal. It's the meal where you get tired of your meat and you want to make another dish. So when we come back, we're going to fry up our fried rice. Welcome back. You've just heated a wok with some oil. The important part is you really do want to wok because of how it retains the heat central to the bottom. If you use a pan, obviously the rice is going to fly everywhere, so invest in a good wok. First off, we're going to put a bunch of the onion first. You want to saute the onions first because this is the only part of the fried rice that's not really cooked. When you cook your meat for the fried rice, you want your meat to be done. So for example, if you're cooking fried rice with raw chicken, you want to cook the raw chicken first and then add it at the end. There aren't really any fried rice recipes where you're adding raw meat to the rice. So that's not just that, it's actually sort of dangerous to do. Next thing, we have a little bit of garlic. The reason, if we added the garlic first, it would have burned. So we do want to add the onion first. The garlic's gonna give it a little bit of kick. Thing is, you don't have to worry about fully cooking the onion because the onion would be in this wok the entire time. The next thing, as the onion's slightly colored, is we're gonna add the rice. This is 3 cups of rice. I would say the maximum a wok can hold will probably be 4. If you cook any more than 4 cups of rice, then you're going to have to cook in 2 different batches. So the key here is high heat. When cooking fried rice, you want to sear the rice itself. Right when it enters the wok, you want to start breaking the rice. You don't want it to clump. So, I mean, the ideal of this is when you're cooking fried rice, right? You're frying rice. you don't want to fry the clump of rice. You want to fry each individual grain if possible. So first off, as you see, I have a wooden ladle here. You're going to spend a lot of time just breaking it and rotating. And you want to be very quick about this also. Because if you're not quick about it, you're gonna burn the rice. And you can tell when you burn it. In Vietnamese style fried rice, when you use a fish sauce, you add enough fish sauce until it turns brown. So as the first, that's my first wave of adding fish sauce. Basically what I mean by turning brown is the rice is white to begin with. And you actually want to, at the end of the day, you want to tint it slightly light brown. And that means you're probably going to be using a lot of fish sauce. So as you can see, as long as you don't open the cap, I would say you're probably going to have maybe 3 seasoning rounds, and you can constantly refry. Right when you fry the fish sauce, it's going to release a slightly odd odor, but it's going to fry right out. Okay, so now I think this is pretty good in terms of the color. So you basically want a light brown. Remember, when you can under-season, but if you over-season your rice, then you're pretty much done. You can't add water and make it less salty. So if anything, taste to how you like it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add an egg. One technique that I usually use is I make a hole in the middle, add a little bit of oil in there, and pour the egg in the middle of the wok. After that, then I'm going to stir it into all the rice. The rice is still hot enough, so it's going to be cooking along with the wok. Doing this is easier than pre-cooking the egg and the omelet and then putting it in. It's sort of a cheating way. Make sure you also have your strong arm because you're going to be doing a lot of rice cooking here. So after you, as you see here, the egg is pretty much cooked, and there's an even distribution of egg for the entire set of fried rice. And as long as your wok is still hot, then it's not going to be mushy in there. So the egg's ready to form. Remember, when you beat the egg, don't add any milk, or you can add water if you want, but just pretty much leave it as is because you want that eggy flavor. Next thing is we have peas and carrots. This is already cooked, so you don't have to necessarily fry it, but you just want to mix it up where it's heated up. So basically, we didn't have to make a hole like we did for the other one. Lastly, when you're done, you're going to add your meat. Remember, your meat should be done. Your meat should be cooked. And as stated before, this can be any type of meat, ideally, there's some type of leftover that you've already been eating for the past couple of days, and you just wanted to convert the dish. As you can see now, the rice has a nice color. It has a nice distribution of peas and carrots and beef. You know, it's not exactly the most healthy dish, but, I mean, think about the name, it's called fried rice.